We're back on the Sports Zone. I am Mike Aglialoro. We've been doing a lot of baseball lately. We're going to switch gears right now. We're going to look at the NFL. We're about 2 weeks into the start of the NFL season, which means there have been a ton of free agents moves and the trades that have happened in that time. Right now, we're going to look at the 5 best off-season moves through the first 2 weeks for fantasy football purposes. We're not going to look at the defense for right now. We're just going to stick to the offensive players. With that, we're going to start with the move that just happened over the last couple of days. Sean Moreno, discarded from the Denver Broncos, had basically no interest from any teams except one. Miami Dolphins signed him to a 1-year, $3 million contract. I got to admit, I think this is a great move for both the player and the team. The team gets a short-term commitment in the event that Moreno goes back to his ways up until the last season and a half, when he had been entirely ineffective and hurt for a couple years, and you didn't really hear from him. But Moreno has gotten so much better in terms of pass protection, and he's a great weapon to have for a guy like Ryan Tannehill. If the defense blitz at him, you got a great dump-off guy there. And Lamar Miller and Danny Thomas, the 2 running backs that Miami currently has, have really been ineffective and disappointed since they've both been with the team. Danny Thomas is coming into his 3rd year. Lamar Miller is coming into his 2nd year. Lamar Miller at times was given the ball. Sometimes he showed a couple flashes, but was really inconsistent for the majority of his time. And Miami definitely shows you how little confidence that they have in him by bringing Moreno in. Moreno may not hit the numbers he hit in Denver this year, but he could still be a top 15 back. It's all on Miami to add to that offensive line, though. Of course, they were decimated after the Richie Incognito, Jonathan Martin scandal. Moving on, another move that I really like. The Denver Broncos, in addition to losing Moreno, also lost Eric Decker this offseason. They replaced him with Emmanuel Sanders. And I got to tell you, I have been a fan of Sanders for a few years now. I really thought he was going to have more of a breakout season last year with Ben Roethlisberger as a quarterback, him as the number 2 receiver to Antonio Brown. Now he is going to, let's face it, probably the best quarterback of this era. And you got Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, and Julius Thomas around you. And Emmanuel Sanders is really not going to be expected to do that much, and he could still have a 1,000-yard season. So I like him going there. I also like Golden Tate going to the Detroit Lions. I think the contract may be just a tad bit too extravagant. I'm not a huge fan, but you do have to like the fact that this is the first legitimate number 2 wide receiver Detroit has been able to put next to Calvin Johnson in his career. So with Matt Stafford at quarterback, you still got Reggie Bush and Jacque Bell at running back. Golden Tate could have a massive year as Calvin Johnson's number 2 wide receiver. Another move, I said I liked it the last time we talked about the NFL. Darren Sproles getting traded to the Eagles. I love this move. I probably would not have dropped Deshaun Jackson as a result of bringing in Darren Sproles, but I love the idea of teaming him up with LeSean McCoy. McCoy has been in the league for a number of years now, and is good for about 280, over 300 carries a season. You have to wonder when that is going to start wearing on his body. And Darren Sproles is entering his age 31 season. He's not going to be expected to do as much as he did with New Orleans, but even if he's only on the field 1 or 2 plays every 4 downs, that's still going to be huge in terms of preserving McCoy, and you have a very dangerous weapon when he needs the rest. And who knows, you put them both on the field at the same time and just let your imagination go wild. The last move we're going to talk about is an offensive lineman, but it's a very important piece for a team like the Arizona Cardinals, whose teams have had no offensive line over the last 2 or 3 seasons. And now they actually have a legitimate quarterback in Carson Palmer, and he was killed every game last season. And you have a decent running back in Andre Ellington, and he's probably, from what you've been hearing out of Bruce Arians, the head coach, he's going to be handling the majority of the carries this season, with Rashard Mendenhall retiring. Adding Jared Veldheer at left tackle from Oakland, a Pro Bowl left tackle, is the missing ingredient for a team like Arizona. And this is the biggest move that could have happened to him. Forget about bringing in Ted Ginn Jr. Forget about bringing in Jonathan Dwyer to back up Ellington and merely be a change of pace. The biggest move for the Cardinals this offseason, bringing in Jared Veldheer. That's exactly what they needed. So, to sum it up, love the Noshan Moreno to the Miami Dolphins move. Love Emmanuel Sanders to the Denver Broncos, even with the shady agent dealing going on there. Love Darren Sproles getting traded to the Eagles. Loved Golden Tate going to be Calvin Johnson's number 2 wide receiver in Detroit, even though I wasn't crazy about the size of that contract. And I love the Arizona Cardinals getting the left tackle they sorely needed in Jared Veldheer. So that's going to do it for us this time. Check out some of the other articles that are going to be coming out this weekend. Of course, Tom Lembo fixing the fight game already up on the Sports Zone. We got the Met preview up. Brian Zamorski is going to be coming to us this weekend with the Yankee preview. And check out Jay Roski's piece coming out sometime tomorrow about the NBA as well. Follow us on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter at We Are Sports Zone. Send us any questions and comments you may have. Thanks for watching. Once again, for This Is SportsZone, I am Mike Aglialoro. We will see you next time, folks.